Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session here. I'm Dr. Ellen Ramsey. I'm an instructor with the Pure Project Management Alliance, and I'm delighted that you've joined us today. I'm especially excited to be joined by Nathan Allen-Zimmerer, one of our current Pure Project Manager students, who's making remarkable strides in this journey through the program. So Nathan, it's truly a pleasure to have you with us today and for taking the time to speak with me and hear more about your experience. So let's start by beginning to ask you some questions, if that's okay, to know a little bit more about you and what brought you to the position that you're in today.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it.
So could you tell us a little bit about your current role and what drew you to project management?
Sure. So I originally started as an electrical design engineer, and then I transferred to a project manager at a manufacturing company for medical devices. And I've been a project manager for about 5 years now. And I just recently started a new role about February this year. So about 4 months now.
That's wonderful. So you're getting a lot of different experience.
Yes, yeah.
Perfect. But what led you to pursue the Pure Project Manager credential? What made you think of that as something that could be added to your resume or life?
So yeah, about 2 years ago, I completed the PMP, and I actually took Joseph Phillips's coursework for that. And so I saw that he was creating this new coursework. I started seeing some of the contributors to the coursework behind it. And since I was starting a new role, I thought it was a perfect time to start with this Pure certification.
That's great. That's perfect. Knowing Joe before with other exams, I even took him for the CAPM. So knowing him before, not even knowing him now and talking to him live at times is amazing. Just seeing him in a different way as a student myself. How would you describe your experience so far in the Pure program?
I found the program to be fantastic. For me, I have worked as a project manager at a company that I was the first project manager there. So they didn't have a lot of frameworks and tools. And the company I'm working for now is in a similar situation as that. So this has given me a different experience of how to manage projects without all of the frameworks that maybe, say, the PMP would involve.
That's true. They're entirely, I would like to say, different. The PMP is wonderful, but in this sense, what you're saying is that you're getting a different experience as opposed to maybe theoretical frameworks, but you're getting the one-on-one with relations and leadership and human connection, perhaps, if that's how you feel.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah, it's a lot of the kind of common sense things that you would need to apply when you're in a new environment without a lot of project management skills already associated with the people that work there.
Good. Would you think there's any module or topic that stood out to you as far as that might have been a challenge, or even not just a challenge, that's something that stood out or resonated with you in a positive way? And again, whatever you're comfortable sharing, it's just something that would help the audience who is thinking about this, hearing from someone who's actually, that we didn't know before, that just started with the program and is excelling so well.
I remember at one point during my coursework, there was an instructor who talked about the customer experience and how as project managers, we serve the customer a lot of the time. And I just remember resonating with that deeply and like quite literally going like, oh my God, like Eureka is sort of like, something that I have tried to put in my work as a project manager, and just seeing somebody also express that and guide me through some of the thoughts that I had, that was excellent. So
well, that's wonderful to hear, truly, because when you're reading something or seeing something and you, like you said, eureka moments, like, wow, I do feel that way, or how can I apply this? It just makes you have that connection. So that's great to hear. Do you want to share any examples that helped you apply any of the, so far, I know you're not through the program yet, but anything, have you taken it, thought about it, and then put it into your work? Or adjusted anything?
Yeah, so there was another moment that I thought was really interesting, and I've tried to facilitate in my own regard, but seeing an instructor walk me through the steps and the research that they've done. I remember one of the instructors talking about getting your amygdala hijacked
Right.
as part of emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that thought of how to react in situations where you may feel like your amygdala is being hijacked, which is kind of like somebody's trying to, how do I say, use a experience that is quite emotional and maybe it's a prior experience you've had before. I don't know quite how to express it, but
I don't want to put words, but if I'm hearing correctly, it's almost like you're in an experience that you've kind of been before, and there are some triggers, and it's making it come back to you that, oh, this is what happened then, but how could I possibly redirect it in a different way because it isn't the same situation?
yes, that's exactly
Is
right.
that it? Oh, okay. Yeah. Again, this is not scripted. I was just listening to you and how can I connect to you and what I've gone through going through the course as well. But that's great. So another question is, I don't want to sound like they're negatives as far as obstacles, but have you encountered any obstacles in the courses or the program itself with courses that you have worked through them? And again, it's not all about fluff. We want to really hear from you what has happened perhaps that you could see an improvement on, or
I think the coursework is excellent. I love the different perspectives that the different contributors bring to the table. I feel like if you're just starting in project management or you've been a project manager for a while, you'll find something that helps you or reinforces an idea you already have. It's really impressive how far the coursework has become in the first rolling out of everything. I maybe think the quizzes could be a little more challenging at times, but maybe it's because I do have some project management experience. I know that this is a great course for aspiring project managers or people who are just starting out in project management.
That's true. And I believe there are 29 courses and a little over 25 instructors. Don't hold me to the number, but I know there's a little more courses. So there's some instructors that have done more than one. And we wanted to gear it towards someone who does projects. They might not have a role as a project manager for their title per se. So you having that experience, of course, there are some that will be perhaps easier. And you haven't gone through the whole program yet, but you may find others that are some challenging questions. And if not, that's always want to know improvement. I know behind the scenes, wonderful product manager, Amanda Chambers, she always wants to know how it can improve a product and then go from there. So that's exactly why we're having an interview from someone who's not related, just going through it. How can it improve for someone who's thinking about this? And maybe someone's thinking, no, don't make it more difficult. But I think we'll be a happy medium of a blend, moving forward as it is improved. Let's go more now with some value or emerging outcomes from your experience. As you are progressing in the program, have you noticed a shift in how you approach work or lead with a team, if you do lead teams?
Yes, since I'm in a new environment, having the refresher of taking a coursework is always helpful. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, good. That's good. Perfect. So I guess it's trying to think of, because I know your time is valuable and we just want to get more to what exactly would you take away from this as far as your journey? Has it affected or helped your confidence or your mindset or outlook on leadership as a whole?
Yes, I like the focus on communication and leadership and people connection within the coursework. I think that's a really refreshing take. I feel like in contrast to some of the other certifications that are out there for project managers, they focus on process frameworks. I don't think Pure strays away from that, but I think they also include the people and the connection and how to work together and manage conflicts and just make sure that you're focusing on, say, the customer or the people you work with or your team members. So I really appreciate that take on the project management.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you, Nathan. Because again, might have theory and textbook might work well, or just an article we might read. But if you're not putting it into practice, that humans have so many different emotions, even one person can, or different styles. So you kind of have to read the room, you in general, and know what's my team what's the focus? How can we improve? Or how can we keep on doing what already works? So that is really a good take. And I appreciate you again being so candid with me today. Just trying to think of if I didn't ask this already. If you would recommend this program, and again, you haven't gone through the whole course, but as a program, but as it is now, if you were to recommend this, or if someone said, hey, I noticed if they're on LinkedIn, say, or wherever else we might be promoting this, if they ask you, I see you're going through this program, what exactly is it? What would be like a takeaway that you'd want them to know about checking it out, say?
Yeah, I'd highly recommend this program. I think it's a very common sense approach to project management with a lot of different perspectives that have a lot of experience in project management. And I just find there's a lot of like a wealth of knowledge within the program.
Great. And one last question for you, because I know, again, your time's important here. If someone has already signed up and they're starting the program, what was one piece of advice you'd offer for them as far as, say, how would they go about, what are you doing with the courses? Are you going in order? Are you picking titles that you like first? What would you suggest for them to have the great experience that you're having?
Yeah, I am personally going in order. If they find something more interesting, they may gravitate to that first. I think just like having a book on your shelf at home, you take this and you reference it as you need to. So go ahead and watch, a coursework twice or more. If you still get something out of it, it's worth going back to and revisiting.
Absolutely. And just anyone who's listening now, if you'd like to stay connected with me or Nathan, we do have our LinkedIn URLs, so to speak, or connections. Please feel free to reach out. We're always here as an instructor of Pure to answer any questions you might have, or to talk or comment on any suggestions or life, professionally, that is. And if Nathan would like anyone to contact him, that's up to him. But he's, even to stay professionally connected, he has his LinkedIn up there as well. But Nathan, I truly want to thank you so much for being here today and offering your thoughtful reflections, because it's always inspiring to hear directly from someone who's going through the program and what takeaways you have. And again, the questions weren't too challenging in some courses, and that's an improvement that can be made, because by getting those answers, and that will even prepare them more, or the student, for the final exam at the end of the Pure Project Manager credential. So again, thank you so much, Nathan, for joining us. And anybody here that's listening now, thank you for your time with us. Always can reach out and look at the Pure Management Alliance for other interviews, other learning opportunities, and pathways to excellence at the Pure Management website. And I believe that will be maybe on our somewhere on our interview here, how you can find us at puremanagementalliance.com. So thanks again, Nathan, and I'll see you professionally online.
All right, thank you very much, Ellen. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.